Speaking of, having you covered, we're going to make sure that you get some blessings as well. We have a gentleman with us who is going to perform a song for you. The song is titled Preacher Man, and his name is Trevor Wilkinson. He's touring, sharing his music across the world, and we're happy to have him with us here on Mornin Barbados. You're going to get to hear a lot more about his story a little later in the show, but right now he's going to perform his song, Preacher Man. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Trevor Wilkinson.
Preacher man, God is calling you to preach the word, the word, the word. Whoa. Preacher man, God is calling you to preach the word, the word, the word. He may not be the preacher man you knew. He may not be the evangelist you knew. So let's move along, sing a song of praise and truth. And so we all will stand before God's throne. Yeah. Preacher man, preach the word. Yeah. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same in the beginning with God. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. And we beheld His glory, the glory of the only begotten Son of God, full of grace and truth. What you gonna do? For if the word spoken by angels was steadfast, and every transgression and disobedience receive a just recompense of reward, how shall we escape? Call a preacher man. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Call a preacher man. He may not be the preacher man like someone else you do, but the word of God is a living proof what the preacher man can do. So let's move along, sing a song of freedom to all. And so we all will stand before God's throne. Yeah, oh, preacher man, yeah. He's the word to boil down, yeah.
We're going to see now our next guest. He performed for us earlier, but he has a video, and we're going to take a look at it now before we get an opportunity to chat with him.
Every promise in the book is mine. Every chapter, every verse, and every line. All the blessings of His love divine. Every promise in the book is mine. Every word in God's book is mine. Every chapter, every verse, and every line. All the blessings of His love divine. Every promise in the book is mine. Oh, it is mine. Yes, it is mine. Oh, it is mine. It is mine. All the blessings of His love divine. Every promise in the book is mine. Every promise in the book is mine. Every chapter, every verse, and every line. the blessing of His love divine, every promise in the book is mine. Oh, the blessing of His love divine, every promise in the book is mine.
We are back with you, and that music is definitely sounding good. Just giving you another view, another listen to some of the music from the gentleman you heard earlier this morning. His name is Trevor Wilkinson. And of course, the song that we are particularly highlighting today would be Preacher Man, which he performed earlier this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, and good morning, Barbados.
Yes, we are happy to have you here sharing the music with us. So let's get a little background. You're currently living in the USA, but you've been producing the music. I think you have a strong link to church as well. So talk to us about Trevor Wilkinson.
Well, I was born here, I'm Bajan. I was born here in Barbados, and I left Barbados in '84.
Wow.
And I went to America, went to art school. I learned to play different instruments and stuff. And I built my own studio, and I started producing.
Nice.
Right? So now I have a body of work. So I'm independently producing and touring and promoting my own music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, this is what we want. So what can you tell us? Do you have a particular album, or have you been working on singles through the years?
Yeah, I did an album last year, which is Liberation album, right? But the Preacher Man song is to help promote that, because the Preacher Man song is more like a more hip hop thing, current, you know, what's going on, you know.
Very nice. So tell me about your direct connection to the church.
Yeah, I was brought up in the church, New Testament church in Barbados, and I got baptized and become a Christian, you know, born again Christian. And then I started reading the Bible, and it changed my life. So I want to bring the message of Jesus Christ through song now, you know. So I want to use the music to enable people, you know, to seek Jesus Christ. So I don't want to like preach down their throat like that, but whatever you could do to preach or to motivate, do it in your own way.
Absolutely.
Right.
Let your light shine
Let
in
your
your
light shine.
corner,
Yes.
however.
Yes.
Right. So talk to us about some of the persons that you have worked with, or who you're looking to work with. I know you've shared solos so far, but are you also thinking collaborations?
Yeah, I did work with some people before, but secular music. There was like reggae artists from Jamaica.
Okay.
Yeah, because I could also flip it too, you know. I could do reggae and stuff, but my message is gospel, right? But I work with, he passed away now, Frankie, in New York City. He was from Harlem, right? And I work with Maxine Duncan, right? She's a Christian artist. She was one of my main artists, right? And then we start traveling to we travel Africa. We did Israel, we did London. So
sharing your music.
Yeah, that's
Talk
me.
to us about the response that you've gotten when you shared your music in these various locations.
Yeah, and in Harlem, I do a lot of local venues, and the main response I see when I'm singing like the solo songs, more so like the inspirational songs, the ballads, I see people actually like tearing down, you know, and crying down because, you know.
Probably taking them to some moments, or maybe it's their life.
Their life, right. So that inspired me, you know, to really get into people's feelings in their heart about Jesus Christ, you know.
Excellent. So talk to us about Preacher Man, this particular single that you featured this morning.
Well, I came here in Barbados in April, right? And I did some songs here in Barbados. But when I was getting ready to go to London, I was going through the songs. And the Spirit told me, record Preacher Man, right? So I said, wow.
You have to listen for the Spirit
right.
speaks.
So then I went to my bed and later I started calling different studios in Manhattan, but it wasn't picking up. So then somebody told me, no, record it in London, right? So I did a research in London, called up Premises Studios, and I met the guy over there, record Preacher Man. And then even before I shot the video on PreacherMan, I was just out there meeting people preaching in the streets, just random like that. And then when I finished the recording, everything fits the actual production.
Yeah.
So that was God.
Divine.
Intervention.
Do you feel like, you know, you're getting enough connecting? Because sometimes, you know, you have a message, you're very clear on your spirituality. I mean, you pointed out that you were living a secular life before, but you made the transition. Sometimes you try to get people's attention, but, you know, it may feel like nobody's listening. And when you're out there preaching in the streets, maybe you can share a little bit about what keeps you going, what keeps you focused and sharing your message, just in case.
What really keep me focused, because they know that the time is short now, and we don't know the end time, right?
That's true.
So why waste time? Find something that you could do to help the people and steer them towards Jesus Christ, you know? So I'm looking at the time that we have, you know?
Yeah.
Some dying young, middle age, you know? So while you're here, you have the time. Let's use that time to proclaim Jesus Christ, proclaim the word.
Do you feel like enough people understand that or get that? Because everything you just said is so true. We've felt it right here in our CBC family. You know, you see someone today and they're fine and healthy and strong. And then less than a day or a day later, you hear that they're gone. It's really hard. Even when someone is older, it still hurts. So why do you suppose it seems so difficult for this message to resonate and connect with people?
What is so important?
Why does it seem so difficult? Because it seems like it's easier for people to do. You know.
Yeah. I think that the church, you know, should like really find ways and means to keep the young, you know, to draw them in, because the world is so attractive, right? But then when they come to the church or come to Jesus Christ, there's nothing really to really keep them, you know. So we should find some way, a means to really keep them in Christ.
What do you think would do that? Because we heard that in our news this morning as well, that, you know, there was a young man saying, you know, it's not that you have to tweak the rules. And I like that he said that, not that you have to like change what church is at its foundation or at its core supposed to be about, but we have to find different ways to encourage youth to come in. What are some of the ways you think that can be done?
I think that the art, like, right?
So the
music, right? If you live in the world, right, you can leave the world and come into the church. You're already part of it. You know, you move to rhythm and stuff like that, right? There's nothing wrong with that, with the culture.
Once you don't bring too many moves. You don't want to make any brothers or sisters stumble, but I get you. No, I get you. But music connects.
Yeah, music connects. You're right. So get the music right. Get the organization in the church right too, you know. Presentation is good too.
Yeah.
You know.
So use the arts.
Use the arts. That's one way to do it.
I think I agree with you. So on that note, let's take a look at the PreacherMan video. We heard you perform it. We heard about the inspiration behind it, and clearly, Mr. Wilkinson has a message that he intends to share in whatever corner of the world, and we're sharing it with you right here on Mornin Barbados. So let's take a look at the PreacherMan video.
PreacherMan coming to get you. Yeah, the world need to hear this. Yeah. Talk to them, T. PreacherMan, God is calling you to preach that word, the word.